Hello Techies, welcome back to our channel UiPath by Sujitha. In this video, we are going to learn about the different data types which are available in UiPath. So as you are aware, using the variables panel in UiPath Studio, we can create variables, right? While we create a variable to store any value, we need to mention the type of data it needs to contain. Type of data, because there might be a number of different types, different data, right? Data types. So that is nothing but data type of a variable. What kind of data you want to store in a variable can be explained, can be configured using data type. Okay, quickly go to your UiPath Studio. Let me open a main XAML file. You could see this variable panel, right? If you open this, you have name, variable type, scope, default. We are talking about the variable type here. So let me put it this way. Instead of calling these as data types, what kind of data you are going to store, we can specify this to variable. Say variable types. How many types of variables are available in UiPath? Can anyone answer? Wait. To answer this, let us complete this video so that we will confidently answer this question. Okay. Also, we can understand the concept. How many types of variables are available in UiPath? Before that, let us draft what is meant by data type. Data types is the data, excuse me, the type of data to be stored in the variable. Okay, fine. Now, let us see what are variable types. How many variable types of variables are available? Okay, let me put it this way. Types of variables. You're following this, right? So data type is the type of data to be stored in the variable, whereas how many types of variables, that means how many kinds of variables are available. This is a very important concept to understand about the variables and data type. How many types of variables we have? How many types of data we'll store in variables? Say for example, first is text variables. So we are going to store the text, say in string, right? So we can consider as string. Fine. Next, number variables, right? For example, int 32, double, right? Next, true or false variable. That means variables will store boolean. That means true or false, only these two values. Next, what we have? Data table variables, which stores the data in a table format. Give any example for this? Data table. We used to create, right, dt underscore when we are reading any data from Excel file. So that is nothing but data table variables. Next, date time variables, which stores date time. Fine. And few more are there. That means let us consider arrays, array variables, which stores collection of data, right? So we can say like arrays, string, what is this? List. Yeah. And the most important one, what I said, proprietary variables. Proprietary variables, we already learned about one of the proprietary variable, that is generic variable, right? UiPath proprietary variables, which is exclusive for UiPath alone. Proprietary variables. One is this generic and one more is Q item actually. Okay. Now let us quickly go through these types of variables. Say text variables. Variables can hold text. If the data which we are going to store in the variable is going to be in text format, that is nothing but a text variable. Fine. Say for example, I can say like my name, first name, last name, or country name. Fine. All these comes under the text variables. So that is going to be a string format which you are going to store in inverted commas. Fine. Now number variables. Say for example, when I am filling a form, my PAN card number, right, or a telephone number or age, all these needs to be stored in a number, right, or the price tag, which will be in some that means double, right? So these are nothing but number variables. Okay, let us forget about this part, concentrate on this first. Okay, so text variables, nothing but when you are storing your name, Sujitha, UiPath, India, all this. Number variables. Number variables, say when you are going to store any number into the variable. That means a telephone number, your employee number, age, price tag, all these. True or false variables. That means the variable will contain only true or false. That's it. Only two values. Either true or false. These kind of variables are called true or false variables. Okay. Data table variables. That means the variables will contain the data in a tabular format. That is nothing but, say when you read an Excel data, it will be stored into the same format. That is nothing but data table format. Data table variables. Okay. How when you are scraping the data using data scraping method, it will be giving your data in a data table format, right? Right. Next, date time variables. What is this? When you want to store the date time into a variable, it should have a format, right? That is nothing but date time variable. The variables which hold the date time is nothing but date time variables. By default, date time variables will consider this day.hh, hours, minutes and seconds format. Okay, so when you are going to store the date time, it will be in this format. So array variables, arrays, which are nothing but the collection of some string or collection of some data type, right? List, same. And the difference between arrays and list, we already covered a very good video with some examples. Please go and watch arrays versus list, okay, video in our channel. Next, UiPath proprietary variables, which we already covered the generic data type, right? So this is nothing but it will hold all kind of data irrespective of the type. Okay, so these many types of variables are available. In order to accommodate all these kind of variables, we need to have multiple data types. Fine. In order to accommodate text variable, we have something called string. Fine. In order to accommodate number variables, we have something called int32, double and so on. In order to accommodate true or false variables, we need to have boolean. So similarly the same. Now you got the concept, right? Why we want these many data types. We need to allow, or we need to accept these kind of variables, these types of variables. That is the reason we have n number of data types. Not only this, we have multiple types of variables in our UiPath. Say for example, when you are getting some UI element, that is going to be in a UI element data type. Fine. And when you have something called IEnumerable, and you will be having dictionary, all these many are there. If you are not sure of which kind of data type to be stored with, when you are using any activity, if you are not sure about the data type, we have a blind method, right? So when I'm not sure about the activity, the attribute, the data type, just do one thing. Use Control K and give some name of the variable, and as soon as you come here, as soon as you create a variable, if you go to variables, it will automatically show you the variable type. Fine. And let us get something like this. Find children. Control K, children. See, I don't know what is the output of this, what kind of data it is going to receive. So I cannot create the data type, right? Rather, while you create a variable, UiPath Studio automatically creates its data type. Fine. So that no need to bother about this much. Fine. So these kind of variables. Also, if you don't know the variable name, or into which collection it is, or you can use this. Go to this. If it is not displaying here, go to browse for types and search your data type here. Okay, in this wizard, browse and select .NET type. Yeah, I forgot to tell this. All the data types in UiPath Studio are coming from .NET only. Okay, fine, right? So you could see the dictionary, system, yes, dictionary, and you could see what we can search for. We can search for something called slow, very slow. Yeah, double. Fine. I can say that UI element, because it has many data types, it is somehow it is very slow, but you could understand the concept, right? So whenever you want to search for any variable type, the data type, you can go with this approach, browse for types, and simply type your variable data type. Okay, and select that, so that it will come and sits here. That means you are going to configure that type of variable using this variable name. Okay, so let us come back. Now we have learnt about what is the data type, and we have seen how many types of variables are available. Also, we just took some examples. Now let us come back to our data types. Out of those many data types which are available in UiPath Studio, let us concentrate on the most commonly used ones. As I said, all the data types in UiPath are borrowed from .NET. Okay. Now let us see very few which are very commonly used during automating a process. So first one, as you guess, string, which is nothing but System.string. So you can simply give this, right? String is nothing but the data type which stores all the text variables. Got it? String is nothing but the data type which is going to store text variables. Text variables, fine. So for example, yes, first name, organization name, etc. Now the other one which we use mostly is int32, right? Let us categorize all these numeric ones. Numeric. We have number variables, right? In the double, long, all these, right? Which stores the numeric variables. Say for example, int32, system.int32 stores numbers, whole numbers, right? Long, system.int64, which consider the long numbers, long numeric variables. Okay, double, which allows decimals. Fine, this is an example. Okay, so all these considered as numeric variables. Okay, now let us consider something called boolean. We already learned about this. Stores store to accept true or false. That's it. Simple, right? Next, what is the most mostly used data type of other than the string, numeric, and boolean? Data table. Yes, data table. What it will do, it acts as a database, right? It will extracts the data, stores this data, which is very similar to the spreadsheet, like rows and columns. How we'll be having a table in a database. Same way, right? Same as spreadsheet with rows and columns. And acts like a database. Okay. Next, what else are there? Datetime. We have something called system.datetime, and also we have something called system.timespan. We already seen this, right? Span. Excuse me. Here we have seen. Yeah, datetime and timespan. Timespan it will be showing in DDHH MMSS, and daytime it shows in. Let me write it here. So we have. So these are the default format of datetime and timespan. It considers month, day, and year, hours, minutes, seconds, and whereas here it is DDHH MMSS. So datetime we use for calculating the days left, remaining days. Many datetime manipulations are there. We can cover this through a separate video. Now let us just see a high overview on this. So time span, to calculate the time difference between two date time variables. Okay, date time variables. When we want to understand the time difference between these two date time variables, we can go for time span variable. Okay, difference between two date time variables. Okay, so this is a very most important concept in any other language. Let us cover this through a separate video. Okay, now let us come back to our data types. What are the other most importantly commonly used data types? Collections, right? Collections. So far we have seen the single value storage related data types, right? When you're going to store, when there is a need to accept the data as a collective format, similar data, fine. In that scenario we'll go for arrays, lists, dictionaries, fine. So we have data types. Arrays, array of the particular data type, again it can be string or integer, like that. List, also similar to array, but unlike arrays, in list we can store n number of objects. That means when you consider arrays are used to store what to say, values of similar data type, but the size of the array is fixed, constant, fine. If you configure this as a 10 size, then you can't what to say, store 11th object into array, whereas in list it is dynamic. The objects can be dynamic. We can store n number of objects into this list, and list again accepts a similar kind of data. Okay, if you set this as string, list of string, this will accept only the string data type objects, values. Okay, so dictionary is nothing but key value pair. You have to remember this. It will accept only in key value pair. So dictionary is used to store objects in key value pairs, where key can be in string format and value can be in another format. So key can be in one data type and value could be in another data type. So for this is enough for today. Because we have learnt about the data types and types of variables which can be available, and data types which will be used to accommodate all these kind of types of variables. Okay, so the most commonly used data types. Also we have seen, if at all we are not unsure about the type of variable, we can use this way. We can just create the variable, go back to variables panel, and you could see it will be automatically created using the required data types. Also we can use browse for types to find the not listed type of data type. Okay, I hope you got basic information on this data types concept. We'll continue this session through some other videos on datetime or manipulation on these data types. Okay, so thank you so much for your support so far. If you are a new visitor to our channel, please subscribe the channel. Also, if you like this video, give a like and share with your friends and colleagues. And you have any comments, suggestions or feedback, please use the comments box below. Let us meet through the next videos. Till then, happy learning and happy automating. Bye bye.